All right, welcome everyone to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me as always. I really do appreciate you. Today is a channeled message from Spirit. The three guides of the light are just on me to sit down and channel. So I'm sitting down to channel. I do know, again, it is the three guides of the light. They've been around me a lot this morning. And so I'm curious to see what it is. Again, they come in when there is something really specific to say. And so I've really learned to just honor it and trust it and sit down and hit record. So I'm just going to take a moment here to tune in, and then we will see what comes. So just hold on one moment here. We are the three guides of the light, and we are grateful to be able to come through and share this message with all of you. We see that many of you have been working hard to move towards your dreams and desires and manifestations. Each step you take in every day helps bring you closer and closer to your desired manifestations. That being those key words, because it is what you wish to create. Now, we do understand that this message can seem sometimes frustrating for many of you, as there are many perceived blocks and barriers or obstacles in your world to your creations. Some of these obstacles are outside of you, forces that wish to keep you limited, either in your personal sphere or within the collective sphere. However, there is also your own perceived limitation, your fears, perhaps fears connecting from past lives, perhaps your fears from aspects or experiences in this lifetime. Whatever it may be, your control is on whichever limitations you impose upon yourself. We bring you this message so it encourages you to step outside your comfort zone, to continue stepping forward every day. We see that there have been so many challenges, and we understand this. We hold so much space for you in your growth. However, we do see that many of you are starting to see the buds and blooms of what you have planted. Others of you may be waiting. However, we encourage you to continue putting one foot in front of the other every day. Your desire to not give up helps bring you closer and closer to those manifestations. And we, on the side of Spirit, are helping to bring them in as well. We hear your voice when you speak to us. And we feel your energy when you emit that which you desire. And when we speak of desires, we do not mean desires that are surface level. We mean deep, soul-based heart desires. Perhaps yours is a desire for love and companionship. Perhaps another is for personal success. Whatever your desire may be, we hear it and we feel it. And as you continue to heal and grow within yourself, you open up the spaces for us to bring these desires into manifestation. But remembering always that it is a co-creation between you and the realms of spirit. The realms of spirit, you see, are not far away from you. It is a way in which many of you are raised to believe that the world of spirit is far away. However, it is with you always. It is simply separated by different frequential energies. When you open your mind to believing in this to be a possibility, you then make it more possible for us to come in and communicate back with you. We desire so much to communicate with all of you now at this time. Humanity is reaching a very beautiful critical change point, one that has already been occurring and continues to unfold. The more people that begin to open their mind create a greater waterfall-like energy of awakening. This is something we are very thrilled to see. We ask that you continue to open your hearts to follow your own personal sense of self, your sovereign energy, the energy that drives you forward. Many of you may connect this to your blueprint. These are your soul's desires. The desire for the learning for you in this lifetime, that which you wish to gain as wisdom. Open your hearts to this now, for it will continue to lead you to your highest path. We're grateful for this opportunity to speak with you all, and we hold you all in our hearts. So, a very interesting thing is right at the end of that, they gave me, so just to back up for a moment, I can tell when a channel is finishing, not simply just by the words, but by the the energy changed. There's like an energy change. And then when they start to bring in more visuals for me, I know that it is kind of switching from channel, which is like a deeper bond with spirit, into more mediumship. And so sometimes what'll happen is they kind of throw in the visual before they're quite done channeling, and that seems to it seems to kind of mess me up a little bit. It's almost like my brain can't quite handle both, which is neat and curious and something I desire to work on. But when they brought in the visuals at the end of this one, what was really interesting was part of why they were saying for us to keep focusing on our heart space and keeping it open is that there is a lot of manipulation happening right now on lots of different levels. And one of the deepest levels is energetic. And this is what I find interesting, because they did mention something about, perceived obstacles in your path, some being outside of you and some being inside of you. Here's the interesting thing is we can have manipulations or obstacles or blocks to our path based on people in our lives that, and I'll be very just kind of black and white in this, but people that hinder us versus people that help us. So maybe manipulative people, narcissistic people, abusive people, that can really be a block to our journey, our process. As well, we can have on a more collective scale, we can have, say, government things or corporate things that are more greed-based versus for the people-based that can cause limitations to either access to services or healthcare or all those kinds of things. And those are more physical blocks, I want to say. What Spirit was showing me right at the end there, though, was energetic blocks. And this is really interesting. There is different energy available to us on the planet that helps lift us up, right? The energy of Mother Nature and the elementals and crystals and all that kind of, all of those things. But then there are the energetics of darker frequencies, whether that be entity-based emitting those frequencies. So in the most simplest terms, that could be like hauntings. That can be psychic vampirism, where somebody is energetically draining you. That can be from different pulsar energies that, the military is known to be able to use different frequencies to actually affect people. It can cause illness. It can cause all kinds of things. There's frequencies that way. And then there's even like higher manipulative frequencies, either in the realms of spirit or ETs. So what the three guides of the light were really mentioning is that there is a certain degree of energetic manipulation happening right now. And that is partially because the energy veil, because of all of our awakening, is very permeable. And a lot of the population is actually stepping into that 4D frequency. Not everybody is in the 5D yet, and there are still many in the 3rd. But there's a lot opening up in the 4D frequency, and 4D is kind of like this open interstellar highway where anything can be. That's the most simplest way I can explain it. But because of that, although it's part of our transition to move through that, there's a lot happening in that 4D energy. And so I would imagine a lot more people right now are feeling triggering energies where they can't pinpoint it on a person anymore, right? Like they've healed a lot in their own energetics that they can't put it on that person or that situation anymore because they know they've healed it, but there's something triggering it and they can't pinpoint it. This is so, Spirit is saying this is quite rampant right now. And they said the key to moving through that is awareness. Knowing that it's happening, because when you know that it's happening, then you can catch it and you can choose to do what you want about it. Because here's the thing, regardless of what's happening right now energetically, you are your own sovereign being. And I think this is what they were talking about too in the channel. You are your own sovereign being, and therefore, if you don't like something energetically, you can stop it. You can change it. You can clear energies, cut cords, clear your space, set boundaries. You can speak your truth into reality. Your words, the words that you speak, are way more impactful than I think so many of us realize. And Spirit reminds me this all the time. And so in any energetic situation, be it a haunting in a more traditional sense, be it, say solar flare energy even, which although is a very good thing, can be very triggering, right? Any kind of energetic manipulation, or triggering, you have the ability to change how you want to experience it once you recognize it. The key is that you need to know that it's happening. And so Spirit really wanted to bring that through because there is a lot of that happening because the veils are very thin, but it's also part of our transition phase into that higher consciousness. Now, they also said one of the things to consider too is with the veils being thin and with the lower frequencies, so I will call these pesky energies in whichever way they are, with the pesky energies that wish to keep humanity stuck in 3D, as they continue losing grip on the majority of people, and people are starting to awaken into open-minded thinking, spiritual thinking, whatever it may be, they will try to grip harder or be louder, meaning creating more energetic frequencies, trying to be pesky in any way that they can, which is why they will do their best to trigger old fears, insecurities, traumas, whatever that may be. That's kind of part of it. So something to consider again is really recognize your energy. Know that what you do, what you think makes a difference. The mind right now is such a key player in how you move through this next while. And I see this until at least like June, until I say June, but it feels a little bit more like summer solstice. So somewhere like June, July energy, your mind is going to be a big, big player. Spirit is saying, fortify the mind, but keep the heart open. And what that does is that really helps you grow in your ascension and to do so in a place of clarity. Yes, because they're also saying one of the greatest things that the pesky frequencies are trying to do right now is to keep you unsettled. Because remember, there is fear is one of the greatest ways to try and hold a population within a certain state of being or frequency. And so as we're becoming more awakened, we're starting to recognize what we can choose to change and so on. But then what they will do, instead of just situations, because we're getting much wiser to situations now, right? Like, do we think this is real? Do we not? All these different things. So much has been brought to the surface about actual situations that now the manipulation is happening simply on an energetic frequency that we can't pinpoint if we don't know to do so, that it's simply energy, right? And so this is where so much of that is happening. So to fortify your mind, to check in, where is my anxiety actually happening? Is it related to anything? If not, it must be energetic. All of those kinds of things are giving us the power of the mind to move through all these different layers of limitation. And this is how we move as a global collective into that full 5D energy. Now remember too that we have made a split. There is now a defined split. Spirit showed it to me like a tree, and you have the tree trunk, and then the trunk splits into kind of two separate trunks or two separate bigger branches. We now have a clear defined split of 3D, 5D. And so within that, there's a lot of changes. And so change is going to be on the table for us for a long time, continually changing energies. But the beautiful thing about these continual changes is we are getting more refined in how we interact with it, in how we define it, and in what that means for us. We are getting our sovereign power back every time we choose to think, what do I want here? What do I feel? What do I want to do about this? All of that helps bring back that personal sovereignty that Spirit has been talking about a ton. And if you go back into my daily card readings on YouTube, you'll see that has been a very consistent message, is that personal sovereignty. So I'm going to tune in just one more time and see if they have anything else left to say beyond that. One thing they're saying really quick before I go a bit deeper is that the timing is now to really get on this. Fortifying your mind in the present now is essential. So really, it just comes to discernment, right? Like, is this true? Is this not? You are being shown situations in your life where you can learn to trust your discernment. And I think many people are going to be observing that, if not have been already, is where they had a feeling, a perceived idea of something, and it was accurate. So notice what you notice and listen to what your discernment is in that process, and it'll help teach you where you are as your sovereign being with confidence. All right, let me check one more thing here. Hold on. I'm just going to go quiet for one moment. they're saying this, the biggest takeaway from this message, from the energetic manipulation piece, from the personal sovereignty piece, is all about you finding that divine union within you. Now, I spoke about this in February's Cosmic Consciousness, Divine Union. And if you want to listen to that, you can go back to avalonspirit.com and purchase that session from before. Now, with the divine union, we are coming into beautiful divine union within ourselves first, because it's really where it matters and where it starts. And when we are in divine union with ourselves, and again, that's not a state of perfection, I want to say, but it's about desired intent and continual action in maintaining the balance of that inner divine union. Now, with that, because we're coming into that beautiful inner divine union, we are really opening up the stage for outer divine unions in partnerships of various kinds, which is where we really start to create massive changes on the outside. And so Spirit is saying, don't let this energetic manipulation prevent you from union within yourself first, and then union outside of yourself. And when you really start trusting your own discernment, you'll be able to trust the union aspects that come your way. And so for some of you, if we bring it back, they're showing me the beginning of their message where they said some of you have been starting to see the buds and the blooms of, you know, what you have planted. They're like, trust it and trust your discernment in it. If it feels off, give it pause and time to recalibrate and see what you need to see in it. If it feels aligned, then step forward. And for those of you that are waiting still to see those buds come through, now is a beautiful time to practice that pause, practice the patience, but also dive into any energies that may be preventing you or limiting you from within still. Is there anything else? There may not. You may be in a position where you're just simply waiting for external circumstances to come together, in which you can actively wait. And active waiting is being busy doing things that benefit you in the meantime. And for those of you that are finding limitations within, it's a beautiful point and an opportunity to clear them up in whichever way that may be. And so Spirit will continue to show us these limitations throughout the year, what we need to see. But I think it's going to be extra strong, especially this month as well. March is going to be very big for that. Even astrologically speaking as well, if I remember correctly, there's a lot going on with March. And then we have the equinox as well. So there's a lot of energy this March that is going to help us really fortify the mind. So I will leave that with all of you for now. Something to ponder, to reflect on. You may want to listen to their channeled message yet again to find the deeper layers. I find when the three guides of the light speak, actually many of my guides for that matter, they often speak in different layers of understanding. You can listen to it literally, you can listen to it metaphorically, you can listen to it for different parts that jump out. Sometimes it's even just the tone of my voice. Like, there are so many levels to it, so you may want to go back and listen to it again. Anyways, I want to just thank you all so much for joining me and listening into that. I know the three guides of the light are very grateful, and they're really sending a lot of love your way for all your growth and evolution. And yeah, that's about it. So I will see you all next week. Have a beautiful rest of your week, and we'll chat soon.